this was a very straightforward performance from Barcelona. I think, if anything, this is probably the most straightforward performance that you could say, in a while. I'd say not too much, because there've been a few games where we've said we've had a few Levante, Rayo. This one not so much, and a Mallorca team who, I mean, for the most part on their day can give any team a bit.
Bro, I feel like right now they're probably level 7, level 6 haram ball. Getafe, Bordalas. Bro, I don't know. Most of the cooler community were saying we shouldn't be undermining Getafe or riding off the high of a Champions League match they played well in the second half. They said they wanted to carry that momentum into this game, which is exactly what happened. I was expecting Getafe to be much more solid, bro. That's what you guys are known for, bro. 16% possession, 1-0. That's what I was expecting.
Beautiful, yeah.
But the quality, I feel like Flick came with a game plan in this game.
Very much, very intentionally. Yeah.
I think we noted in before we shot that Barcelona, when they need to, they can switch up the attack into different ways. Wing play, they have that sorted. They have the pace in the wings if they want to implement an attack through wing play. But in this game, they broke down this low block through the middle with Pedri, Olmo, Ferran Torres also inverting. Maybe Rafinha was given license to push out wide to give them an outlet, but Robin Lewandowski also coming in and getting involved, which I think boded well for this game, because clearly Getafe were prepared for a game where Barcelona getting wing play, trying to play from out wide into the inside, but it didn't work. And the one time that Barcelona scored, I think the first goal was Ferran Torres work play. The ball starts out in the middle, then they push it out wide quick. Rafinha finds an incisive pass, boom. And now Olmo is there, cut back, Ferran Torres, goal. Ferran Torres, interesting game, interesting season, because he's Barcelona's top goal scorer in La Liga so far this season. True. But you wouldn't be expecting him.
You wouldn't expect that, and expecting him. Player that, again, I'd say I would put him, and maybe I might be wrong, I put him in the Lissandro Trossard thing, school of just people who, most of your best moments have came off from the bench. Yeah. Or when people are injured and we need you to step in and fill the boots. He's those types of players, and I think he's made a very great career as far back as when he was at Man City, of just being that player who, there's nothing particularly flashy about him, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but Ferran is just, as you said, I wanted to make the example of saying he was the R9 of Luke de Jongs, and I'm like, no.
He's just Morata.
You see that?
Part of winning teams, effective when you don't need him.
He's not the main guy.
He's not the main guy.
He's not even the second guy.
Yeah.
He might not even be in the top 5, but you know that he's in there. You know that he chips in, and I mean, again,
he has a blunder in him too.
That's the thing. Yeah. He does have a few stinkers in him at points, which is why he's not the A side. He's not the necessarily go-to person when you're thinking of, okay, we need people to win this game for us. But again, it's performances like this against a tough team like Getafe, as you were saying, where just take your chances, have players like him who on their day can be very, quick, very agile, very precise, very clinical in front of goal. Yeah. And I think you needed that. I think in a very rotated squad, for the most part, I'd say most of the same team that played in the weekend played here, but obviously the few refurbishments here or there. But I was just quite impressed with his ability. How he took his goals was very good. But I just want to go back to what you just said in the sense of Hansi Flick changed up his style of play, and I do feel like having players like Pedri Gonzalez. I like how you keep on saying his full name.
Pedri Gonzalez, bro.
Players like Pedri, players like Frankie de Jong, players like Dani Olmo. Yeah. Having that quality at your disposal, meaning that you can change things up. If you want to have the game be a bit more quicker, you just kind of the 1-2, they can do that. If you want the game to just take a step back, just feel the game intricately, especially against a team playing such a low block. Yeah. Let's just incisive passes, just play amongst ourselves, and we're gonna get. Again, we might have to rename this channel the Pedri Show, because I don't think I've ever seen a player consistently just be so good without even having to score a goal or provide an assist.
But you can see his
But you can see what he's able to do. If you're watching Barcelona games, you know that this player is the most integral puzzle piece. Once upon a time, I would have said Lamine Yamal.
Yeah.
But I think now, if you're just like really watching Barcelona,
Lamine is not there.
Lamine is not there, and they're still winning games, and they're winning games comfortably. And they played a Champions League game against a very game opponent in Newcastle. And despite that first half, it was a game where they sort of took the game by the scruff of the neck, and they got the result. And this, once again, I have nothing but great things to say for Pedri. And if anything, having a player like that at your disposal, you always have a chance to win. And I think it's just massive credit to him, the ceiling that he's reached. And he's 22?
22, 23.
23.
So he still hasn't
even reached his prime. You'd imagine, so just brilliant, exceptional player, and all around, I'd say nothing much to really write home about besides in terms of the game itself.
I think when Barca came in with those 2 early goals in the first half, it sort of set the tone. Barcelona were clearly cruising from there, but when Getafe got to bring themselves into the game and try to attack Barcelona.
I think Barca sort of intentionally said that let's just allow ourselves to take a beat. And I think I'd say Getafe, they did get at them and certain points. Obviously that high line, you always get an opportunity.
But by the time they got into that game state, into that mindset that we need to come out now and attack, Barcelona were in cruise control. I want to know Jules Koundé, bro. Honestly, this guy is flying under the radar. He's been keeping it solid down the right backside. And Rafinha, he didn't have his best game, but still chipped in with the assist, which is something that I want to know, bro. This forward line in Barcelona is having me scared because Dani Olmo chipping in with goals and assists. His understudy, Fermin Lopez, when he gets the chance, he's also chipping in. Ferran Torres chipping in goals and assists. Robert Lewandowski is having quite a bit of a dry spell right now, but
that when you give him the opportunity against on another day, he takes most of the chances because he had a few good chances as well.
And Lamine Yamal is still there. Adding Marcus Rashford on top of that, who's also making an impact in recent games, where he can be used as a trump card, coming on, as we saw the way he provided for Daniel Olmo's goal. He stretches defenses, put the long ball over the top. He used his pace quite well to get himself in a good position in the 18-yard box, cut back, almost scores. And
there were also other opportunities as well after that.
He also created some chances where you can use his pace to exploit tired defenses. And I'm no, there's no set player in this thingy, in this forward line for Barcelona, I'd say, except for Lamine Yamal, who that right wing spot is his. And maybe you could say Rafinha when he's at his best. But right now, it's anyone can come in, bro, and eat. And that's credit to Hansi Flick, bro.
It's credit to Hansi Flick. And again, I reiterate the point that I said going into the season, the preview that we did. Out of all the teams, Barca looked the most ready to just hit the ground running. Yes, they had that very weird draw, but other than that, they just looked exceptionally great, as if they just picked up from where they left off. And as you're just recounting all of these players, and you're just saying that it's going to be a long season. It really is going to be a long season. It's going to take a lot to beat this Barca team, because I watch them every single day and every single game week, and you're just thinking to yourself, really, what teams are able to break this team down, the way that they're playing. Yes, they will leave themselves susceptible, but they have smart players that are able to sort of get themselves. I think they're also the one thing that we could have said, losing Inigo Martinez would have been a bit of a problem. And I think now, obviously, Christensen, he's obviously slotting into that position now. Eric Garcia, he's slotting in there. Obviously, we know Kubasi is the main centre back, and Ronaldo Araujo as well. But again, man, they just look so good. And as true Madrid fans, we don't like saying that, but as football fans, it's good football. It's brilliant football. It's great to watch, and it just makes things very interesting.
And also something that I've noticed, the high line is not that high anymore.
Yeah, it's not
he
ridiculously.
sort of adjusted it after Driver kind of gave out the sauce way too early in the season, bro. That thing where like you leave your striker like offside, put a ball in for the winger, then they're gonna find you offside. they gave out the sauce way too early, bro. I was expecting our Mbappe and Vinicius bro, to exploit it, but now Xabi Alonso has to figure out another way, because it seems like Hansi Flick has said we are going to play a high line. But
let's not. It shouldn't be that astronomical high line where I think the statistic like they've caught teams out 100 times on offside traps and stuff like. Which I mean, again, like it's still a tactic that you guys you guys are using that worked for you.
Yeah.
But teams obviously naturally I think was a big detriment towards them towards the end of last season.
But I think one thing is noticed is that teams are able to kill us because our high line leaves space in behind our defense. What we should do, push the high line a bit back, get Pedri and Frankie de Jong who are like technical enough to come and get the ball closer, get the attackers closer, so that it gives us more space on the other side.
So leaving yourself susceptible.
Yeah, again, bro, I feel like I love Barcelona as a footballing side. Obviously, I hate them as a rival, as rival. But they make you rethink the game, bro. Massively. They make you like see another view of the game.
As I was saying, like just before we're watching the highlights, just to get refresh our memory, and I was like, when I watch Barcelona, I see that this is how football should be played. This is how top quality. This is top level football being played, and you're just saying that I see it, and then you watch your teams and you're like, oh, I see where. Well,
we could get there, but hey, guys. I don't know there, bro. They just cook it different, bro.
If I think it's a thing of if you want to reach the top level, that's the parameter that you have to get to. That's the level. That's the standard that you have to get to. And again,
But what I love about football is that it's a game that gives anyone an opportunity. You can play a run ball and still win. You can play Barca style and still win. You can play whatever football that, as long as it gets you a result.
Those fine margins that like make the biggest difference in football. And I think Barcelona, they're like a house on fire.
Yeah.
Not number one though. Not number one.
You know who's on top.
So again, I'm hoping that by the time we get to the derby, things are still this way. In the sense of just like, just sort of to build up that intrigue.
Yeah, it seems like it's shaping up that way.
It seems like it so far. But that was just our brief thoughts on Barcelona, having a light work session against Getafe. Let us know what you guys think of the game. Who were your standout players? Otherwise, for myself, Moid VJ, stay tuned in.